look further into this if you'd like, but the spiritual significance to what at the time was flying in my face. I knew it was some kind of wasp. It wasn't like a black and yellow one, whatever, yellow jacket. I thought it was a mud dauber. It was. And then it got closer to me, and I could see, I thought it was black. At first it was actually blue. And so I looked up blue mud dauber, or blue mud dauber wasp, because it's a type of wasp, and I found them. And I take signs from the universe very seriously, especially when they come to me through nature. Especially creatures with wings is highly significant, because they go to other people's homes and steal them. But basically, they'll go to other wasp nests and build from an already made wasp nest, an abandoned one, or they'll go to one that's being used and like kick out the already larva in this nest and then plant their own larva in the nest that was made by the other type of wasp. So they give, like, they steal things, like they literally go somewhere and they do half the work too. Like, they find a home that's already finished or half finished or abandoned and then take it over, or find a home and just kick everyone out and take it over. I'm like, what? Okay, so that's a blue dauber. They also kill black widow spiders
and steal the nests of the more common black and yellow mud dauber wasp. They replace one.
I realized I wanted her to change her life. I wanted her to wake up to the damages that she was causing and stop. Like, I was just that feeling of like, you must be stopped. Like, you hurt me, you're hurting other people. Come to find out years later, because they said they want to do it again, and I believe them, set someone up to become a victim for abuse. And you end up blaming and accepting the abuse because God wanted it, or God thought you deserved that, or whatever. And so I just, like, I feel like when people practice black magic, it's because they think they're God. They think they have some control over the universe. They think they can force something on someone, or like they don't like the way someone did something or said something, or it could even just be something they said, or like a life they have that that other person doesn't have, and just doesn't think that person deserves it. And like, who are you to say who deserves what? And that's what I had to come to a conclusion about with me and my own practice is it's not up to me. Who the fuck am I to say this person doesn't or does deserve these things? It's only up to them and their own value inside their mind that will happen. What they deserve, they will get, because it's what they believe they deserve. And when I realized it's all about what I internally believe, and what I believe on the inside will show on the outside, that my whole reality can